up a little bit.
Every Thursday night.
Give it up. Girl, just hit the button.
And all new Tyler Perry's Young Dylan and That Girl Lele are front.
Got your back.
And center. And better than ever.
I can't help it. I'm a classic. Kind of crazy. But that was fun.
Be there for that new Thursday night. Tonight starting at 7 on Nickelodeon.
Wow, that was so fucking hilarious. Willingham and Felicia were fucking cracking me the fuck up. Oh my God, I was dying to the point where I was fucking wheezing at their silly antics and all the other wild ass shenanigans. And they're like sass and everything. Good shit, Andrea Barber. You are a living legend, and this is why you're the GOAT, even before Lele was even a thought, and before David A. Arnold was in our lives in our lives when he was still here on Earth. Like, oh my goodness. This is a quickie episode, but there's still somewhat of a lot to break down in like a long video short. So I'm going to start off with Marissa Reyes. So first of all, Marissa Reyes as Felicia. Really nice to meet you, Marissa. I know that Felicia seemed a little sassy in the show, but as I've learned throughout, since Live and La Vida Labyrinth in 2015, when it comes to playing, mean, bad, or evil characters, just because, or even sassy characters that turn out to be sweeter at the end, or like characters who turned out batshit La Vida Loca in the beginning, but then have a change of heart in the middle to the end. Just because they're all those things on TV doesn't mean they're like that in real life, and that means you too, because you seem very sweet in real life, and your best friend Bridget seems very chill, so that's why I followed her. So nice to meet you, Bridget. Marissa did a hell of a job in this episode, and I know she's a regular on Raven's Home. I don't give a shit about that show, but her one-off on That Girl Lele made me love her to the core, even though I just met her. So let's go over her little shindig. So when Willingham was trying all those little tricks, I mean, for a second I thought when she was sucking at doing all these flips in the beginning and the middle, I thought it was because, she was older than dirt and just couldn't do it for shit. I mean, I'm not talking about Andrea Barber in real life. I'm talking about her character. I mean, Andrea Barber doesn't even look, I know she's like in her 40s or 50s, I don't fucking know, but she looks good for her age. But I thought it was because, but no, Willingham did not stretch. She did not stretch, which is why in the end she was able to do that spectacular flip like Steve Park, and why, Felicia and that unnamed Asian girl were able to do some successful backflips like Carl the 99. Yeah, Marissa and Bridget, I'm a big NASCAR fan, which hence the name Steve Park and Carl Edwards. One drove for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, the one Penzo Chevrolet Monte Carlo, the other drove for Roush Racing in the number 99 Ford Taurus after Jeff Burton left and went to RCR, which he was going to do whether or not Dale Earnhardt Sr. was killed, in 2001. So, because Earnhardt wanted Burton to have the 3 once he retired after what he was going to retire until after the 2003 season, because his contract with RCR was set to be up. And it was rumored that I remember reading a lot online saying that, RCR had planned, because Dale Earnhardt Sr. from 1995 to 2000 always had like a special edition paint scheme for the Winston All-Star race for at Charlotte. The one for 2001 was planned like a white Goodwrench car with black decals instead of the usual black Goodwrench car with white decals. And there was also, there was popular talks about that, but it was also rumored that he was going to run a Hershey's car in the All-Star race too. But the white car with the black decals was more popular. But there was another site that said that, they had everything ready, promoting up to Daytona with the Hershey stuff. But as soon as he was killed in that turn 4 crash on the last lap, the idea was scrapped. And then they used that white car with the black decals that went for Earnhardt for Kevin Harvick when he came along. And I may not like Harvick, but it's cool that RCR gave her permission with Stewart Haas to bring back the 29 for one last race with the throwback paint scheme. Of course, he has to use the Kurt Busch light sponsorship because Goodwrench doesn't exist anymore. But man, so I'm sorry. I know I got off topic right there talking to Marissa and her best friend Bridget. But yeah, that's basically some. Yeah, see, look at that. Earnhardt Sr., Earnhardt Jr., and here's the crash that changed NASCAR forever, when Earnhardt Sr. smacked the wall and it ended up being instant death. Because every other driver I've had after that, Kyle Petty, Juan Pablo Montoya, then the Dillon brothers had their own freak accidents, and they either walked away, finished the race, or both. All Dale did there was just smack the wall like it was nothing. Everybody smacks the wall in NASCAR, but it turns out it was instant death because safer barriers weren't a thing in '01. No, Hans device was optional, and he was wearing an open face helmet like his son Dale Jr., and of course, NASCAR veteran Jimmy Spencer. So that's why ever since him and Blaze Alexander later at Charlotte and ARCA that year, there's been no fatality in NASCAR, but yet they were taking a step backwards last year when people were getting hurt in the Gen 7 when all they did was get rear-ended in the slightest and in a rear end when someone else rear-ended them in the back, or they lightly tapped the wall with the back end, which is why people like Kurt Busch and Alex Bowman were getting hurt, which is basically what ended Kurt Busch. But you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Kurt basically ended Kurt Busch's driving career earlier than he wanted. But yeah, but speaking of injuries and Willingham and Felicia. So of course after Lele and Sadie fucked up big time because of the fact that Trish didn't want them to use that silly character they were using on Sadie's mini laptop to help them out. They were trying to train in the backyard. They were playing Meet Me in the Hood, It's Going Down. That used to be a big deal on the Lenore house in Michigan when I lived there, post-Mexico in 2003, 2004, 2005 onward. But the evolution of big music in Michigan when I lived there in the 2000s post-Mexico just kept evolving. It was different mega number one hits every single year. And Sandhurst music evolved too when there was a lot of big songs when we lived in Brook Park. So, and here there were big songs too, but I just got tired of following that. I just stuck with the songs I've listened to in my childhood, from Ricky Martin, my favorite, Livin' La Vida Loca, my number one song, Robbie Draco, Rosa, and Desmond Child, or just songs that, smooth jazz music, which is what Michigan gave me. V98.7 in Detroit, and V107.3 The Wave in Cleveland. Songs that, incredible songs and artists and bands I got to hear in a lot of my PS1 and PS2 games I played growing up. But, that's what I just stuck to because I just do not like 2020's music. So, therefore, when, they were trying to, be the best, Lele and Sadie were trying to be the best they can be, they done fucked up to the point where I thought, Felicia was never going to give him another chance. And, of course, Willingham was playing second fiddle to Felicia. Lele and Sadie did an apology song, and Willingham didn't like the singing, but but she loved their creativity. And Felicia's like, fine, I'll give you guys a second chance, but don't fuck up us. You're out the fucking door. But she didn't say it like that, as we all know. That's just how she meant it. And so she said, and you thought Lele and Sadie had it bad from Felicia. At least she gave him the easy way out compared to poor Kobo, who was getting shit on by being called Slobo. See, if I was a character on the show and I had to work with Felicia, and if I got to use my real name and it's a fictionalized version of me, I wonder what Felicia's nickname would be for me. But yeah, so therefore when they said, I'm going to the top of the mountain, if I fall and bust my ass, your guys are fucking done. But she didn't say it like that, but that's how she meant it. And so when they were making the pyramid, I thought Lele and Sadie were going to fuck it up and make Felicia fall down like Dale Jarrett and bust her head open, bust her ass or even crack her head open. Luckily, none of that happened. And Lele and Sadie made this cheer squad. Kobo just stuck with basketball because he just wanted to do that shit for shits, for shits and giggles or out of spite. Who fucking knows at this rate? And they decided to go to Boombox Burger, the cheerleaders and the rest of the cheerleaders in the basketball squad to go to Boombox Burger for a good dinner. And that was the end of the episode. And God, I need to shave my nasty-ass whiskers before we go out for Poker Game Night Season 3, Episode 3 tomorrow night. Like, god damn. I mean, did anything else happen? No, I guess that was it for the main plot. But, man, Andrea Barber and Marissa Reyes really knocked it out of the park tonight. So, technically Thursday, but we didn't watch it in real time. Now for the subplot. Now, Bryce wanted to take Marky fishing, just like how, Marky's grandfather, which is also Bryce's dad, did to him when he was younger, before Marky was born. Unfortunately, all of a sudden there was a storm by the lake. It would have been nice to see them actually go, and we got to see what they made, the honchos at Lele, like John, Ron, Wendy, Will, Power Packer, Friday Gutierrez would have made it look like. Unfortunately, they snuck in the storyline how there was a storm by the lake. It was too rough, so I feel bad for Bryce. He really wanted to get to share a tradition that he did with his dad, with his son, and maybe one day Marky, when he grows up and has a son, wants to share with his son. So that's why Marky decided to make it up to him by doing the virtual reality fishing. And it looked like they were enjoying it, but then when they failed to catch that virtual fish, it just wasn't the same. And I understand why Bryce said it was a bust, but Marky kind of said in context, well, I get it was a bust, but it kind of wasn't, because we may not have done the real thing, but I got to spend time with my dad, and that's all that matters. I love you. And he says, I love you too, son. I get to do this shit with my dad tomorrow. I'll probably do some TikTok footage just for all of you to see. But there won't be any YouTube footage till we get to the last part of the day when we do Poker Game Night Season 3, Episode 3. Now I remember what I was going to say in the last video. So the Goldbergs next episode we're going to catch up on is the Matt Kenseth installment. That's going to be tomorrow. A Million Little Things will be the Mark Martin installment. So we're going to have to schedule Poker Game Night Season 3, Episode 3, as we're going to record it tomorrow, but we're going to have to schedule it for some Sunday upload or something. Now, therefore, just Jessica Marie Garcia and Lopez versus Lopez. That's up in the air. Like I said in the previous video, the Not Dead Yet reaction video to the Jimmy Spencer installment. If she appears more than 2 times, we can't do it. But Wendy McClendon Covey's getting a new show on it. And we might start watching some NBC programming because of those two. And wasn't there something else that I was going to say? That a new show was coming? Oh yeah, Pretty Freaking Scary is coming this coming summer to Disney Channel. So there's a good chance we're still going to get to have a lot of shows next year and beyond, starting this coming summer. And we'll probably be in good hands for a while longer, as long as Lele lives to see more days. Villains of Valley View still lives to see more days. Okay, if we know Bunked is coming back for season 7 next year, we still gotta catch up on all that. I haven't had time to catch up on that because of the fact that we're still trying to overcome a little bit of Christmas and us being sick and shit, throwing us 3 times, throwing us off, back when Winter Wonderland started. Now, I think I was talking about a show that I wanted to talk about, but I had lost my train of thought, so I'm going to take time to think about it. 107.3 The Way. Honestly, I don't fucking remember, but I guess I'll come to my mind in a little while. But anyway, I need to get the fuck out of here so I can go shave my nasty ass whiskers so we can stock up on some ice cold Coke tomorrow. And of course, once again, nice to meet you, Marissa Reyes and Bridget Caroline. So until next time, this is Mark Oliveris signing off. There's going to be 2 NCISY episodes in the Mega Mix. There's going to be my opening 2 choices when we get to that point. The first night we get to a day off of work in the summer where we know we don't have to go to work the next day. We'll get to stay up all night, and we're going to do the TV Mega Mix then. We're going to get an early start on it. I want to do my best to go in as many days as possible. Get a mostly. I'm probably not going to get an all clean record for summer. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to try my best to get somewhat close to that. Where I'm not going to take as many days off when it warms up as I have been when it's been cold this whole time. So have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Life will give you a lot of lows, but when you hit a high, enjoy it. It ain't for the weak. Goddamn, pace yourself. Bring your ass. Be you. You have to try harder to do less. You can't deport a dream. Sometimes the worst things in life lead to the best things. Always bet on the side of love. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Sometimes you just got to be present. You never fail until you stop trying. It never pays to worry too much about things. It's never too late to turn the day around. Another day on time, another day to shine. Sometimes you just got to flock yourself, trust your instinct. Stand up for yourself, not back down to anyone. All for one, one for all. She, love, act different. You got to bounce. Just when you think things will never be okay again, here comes a miracle that proves you way wrong. A connection can happen when you least expect it. Honesty is the best policy. Sometimes you just gotta dive in, follow your dreams. Take care, everyone. Good night, and Poker Game Night Season 3, Episode 3 is coming out tomorrow. Well, it's going to be recorded tomorrow. It's going to be scheduled for a Sunday upload. But Bunked is going to come back. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna split it into two halves. So I know we left off in episode 10. So we'll do. I think I gotta figure this shit out. We'll do one half. We'll do one half 1 week. After this episode this Sunday, we're gonna do one half. We're gonna do one half next Friday. We're gonna do one half. I tell you what we're gonna do. So after we let this next tomorrow Sunday's episode air, we're gonna do one half batch on next Friday, and then because my sister's coming into town next weekend for her birthday, so we're gonna try to do one half of a batch on Friday, and then next day we're gonna try the second batch, and then hopefully it'll be easier for us. So that way, come Sunday, we'll officially be back in the game for not only that show alone, but for the television season as a whole. And Danger Force is coming back in April to I think it's gonna be partnered alongside Aaron and Aaron. So the Bobby Labonte through Tony Stewart installments of Mark's presentations is going to come up. So when we finally do the Bunked reaction videos, we're going to promote, I think will be the Bobby Labonte installment of the presentation series. We're just going to be talking about season 7 of Bunked. I know one of the episodes is going to talk about, the world debut of Aaron and Aaron, but I don't know what the third one's going to be about. I had it down, but I can't fucking remember, but I'll try to think of it. But anyway, I need to get the fuck out of here and just once again say, nice to meet you, Marissa, Reyes, and Bridget Caroline. Me encanta. See you later, everyone.